You're watching Horror News Network.
Can you start by telling us your name and what you do on the show?
Yeah, sure. I'm Kelly Overton, and I play Vanessa Van Helsing on Van Helsing. Is that it, or you want me to talk about my character?
You can keep talking.
I will keep talking then. Okay, great. I play Vanessa, and she's a single mom. And she has a daughter, which we didn't really touch on too much in there, but was one of the things that I loved about the character and that drew me to the role. I'm a mom as well. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and just that the maternal instincts and knowing, like, just resonating with doing everything to protect your daughter. So she wakes up from a coma after 3 years and realizes that the world's gone to shit. It's, post-apocalyptic, and it's run by vampires, and the vampires want her, and the humans want her, each for their own purposes, but she doesn't give a shit about that. She just wants to find her daughter. So her main mission, when she wakes up and starts remembering who she is, but then discovering all these new special abilities and kind of this new identity and reconciling that, at the same time of, where's my daughter? It's been 3 years. Is she alive? Is she not? Like, how do I find her? And she's pretty single-focused on figuring that out, on that being her mission, yeah. And then, of course, yeah.
Trailers that we saw. That's
Yeah.
They sold us something.
Yeah. Well, what they said was pretty great, too. It's a lot of fighting, and, that's the journey. It's a lot of fighting, a lot of blood, a lot of great blood, a lot of wonderful dynamics between the characters. I mean, the characters are so, I think, rich and deep and edgy, and there's this realism that we really tried to bring to the show. And the actors, we were so lucky to have such great talent. That's everyone involved, I think.
How did this come your way? What was your reaction when you first read the script? And then follow up to that, do you have some creative input based on viewing a little bit of your own personality?
Sure. Well, my agent sent me the script, and he's like, this seems right up your alley. And he was right, not only with the genre and it making sense in my career, but with just the mother aspect, and then the athleticism that the role required. I come from a sports background, track and soccer and basketball. So there were just all these components to it that just felt like such a great fit. And I loved that it was Neil LaBute. I loved Neil LaBute. There were so many twists on the genre, like having Neil LaBute do a vampire show. I was like, I'm in. Like, what is that? Like, that's going to be really interesting. I mean, he writes characters and high stakes, and just chaos so beautifully, and he gets intense, and I was like, this is going to be really interesting, taking the male Van Helsing role and making it a female, taking a person who can bite a vampire and turn them human. I mean, there were so many cool things about it. Yeah. Did I answer your question? Okay. Yes, the creative input, absolutely 100%. And again, I'll give Neil a lot of credit here. And everybody, really, the writers and producers and cast, there was such an atmosphere of collaboration. And creatively speaking, that's invaluable for getting the best possible product you can with what you're working with. And so, yeah, I would get the scripts and I would read them, and Neil and I would just communicate, and I'd fire off all my ideas, and he'd be like, I love that, and he'd incorporate them, and that was really special. That was really awesome. Yeah.
That doesn't always happen.
No, there was a lot of respect artistically. Yeah, it was cool.
So, having come from, or having past experiences with a strong female character, coming into a show that's got another strong female, now lead character, what are the differences? What are the different dynamics?
What do you mean exactly? Different dynamics?
Well, it's past experience. You played a very strong female character.
Like in True Blood, you mean, as a werewolf? Okay.
Exactly. So coming to this,
Yeah.
What are the differences in
Okay.
the type of
Sure.
character? It was strong.
Yeah, it was. I think the mother aspect, that she's a mom, and it's an ordinary girl who wakes up in the future and discovers she has supernatural powers. And there was such a vulnerability to the character that I really wanted to play. I mean, especially in the beginning. I didn't want to be this super tough, strong, like, she's going to be okay character. I wanted to show, like, that this is a woman who, is heroic in her core. That's just who she is. But she's completely, she's just completely a normal person who wakes up in these extraordinary circumstances. And as resourceful as she is, she's also terrified.
You did get bit a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It did. They're after me, man. They're after me. It's tough out there.
What did Neil sort of bring to the table, in your opinion, that was sort of part and parcel to what he's about and why he's show running it?
Yeah.
Bring you to the vampire show.
Yeah.
Can you give a specific example, maybe, or scene, some lines?
There are things I could say, but they'd be spoilers, so I can't. But based off of what we saw, Neil he's not afraid. Neil isn't afraid to dive into the darkness of humanity. And he didn't shy away from it. And I think that's what makes the vampires really cool. From just a gory aspect, and the actors that they cast, really went for it. Like, there's some really, intense stuff that happens that, people might find hard to watch. And then I think psychologically speaking, Neil isn't afraid to dive into the psychologically dark aspect of being human. And that comes out a lot in the, inner dynamics between the characters. So we all went to some pretty intense places at times. And
you played both sides of the fence.
yes.
Werewolf.
Yes.
Now Van Helsing.
Yes.
What do you think is the stronger breed?
Oh gosh. Well, Vanessa's kind of her own breed, right? I mean, I don't know. It's like, I'm not a vampire, so I can't really make a call on that. And I gotta stay true to my werewolf troupies too, right? Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching Horror News Network.